The chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Arrington, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, before my commentary on this disastrous border self-inflicted by this administration, I want to speak on behalf of my fellow Texans. I think I can say this with confidence. They welcome the immigrant, the God-fearing, freedom-loving immigrant that want to make this country their home, pledge allegiance to our flag, embrace our ideals, and improve even our way of life. We welcome the immigrant, Mr. Speaker, but only if they respect our laws, our sovereignty, and the safety of our fellow Americans. Since January, this administration has created an unprecedented and unmitigated crisis at our southern border. They've repealed every effective measure that was in place to stop the flow of illegal immigrants and to secure the border. They have willfully disregarded the Constitution and its mandate on the people's government to provide for the common defense. Our president has failed to faithfully uphold the law, to fulfill the sacred duty to enforce the laws of the land. They have completely ceded control of our border and the sovereignty of this great country to paramilitary drug cartels. They have enriched and empowered these narco-terrorists at the expense of the vulnerable migrants who take this dangerous trek, and most importantly, at the expense of the American people, our families, our children. Mr. Speaker, this administration has intentionally opened up our border to a flood of human trafficking, unprecedented drug smuggling, and a record amount of crime and gang activity. There is no apology for it. There is no recognition of it. There seems to be no sign of changing the posture and policies of this administration. There's no accountability. They're not committed to detaining and deporting, but catching and releasing. Lawlessness, Mr. Speaker, and chaos and a border beyond recognition. This central tenet of catch and release has not only rewarded illegal immigration, but it has dispersed this crisis beyond our border to every state in the United States, making every state a border state. Since March, 160,000 illegal immigrants have been released into the United States. This in addition to almost 500,000 gotaways. Mr. Speaker, I recently learned that folks who were being detained, illegal immigrants, were being released into neighborhoods and communities in my district. They couldn't tell me how many. They couldn't tell me where they came from. They couldn't tell me who was going to follow up, when they'd show up for court. They had nothing. They could confirm, however, that there were people being released, illegal immigrants, into our communities who were COVID positive, and some who had criminal records. Nobody notified. Not me, not our governor, no local officials, just releasing folks. Meanwhile, this administration is mandating and insisting on vaccines and public health protocols, but letting folks just stream into our country. They say 1 of every 5 illegal immigrants crossing is COVID positive, and so there's this public safety threat of another surge inundating our hospitals, while they force their policies on the American people in this regard. Shameful. Shameful. And there's been exponential increase in criminal aliens apprehended at the border. These are folks who've committed a crime on our soil who have crossed back over. 4 times as much criminal activity, criminal aliens. The numbers are startling, Mr. Speaker. 348% increase in criminal aliens convicted of DUIs coming back to the United States. 454% increase in criminal aliens convicted of drug possession. 477% robbery, theft, burglary. over 200% increase in sex offenses, and over 1,600% increase in criminal aliens who've come over to our country and committed murder. I wish I had more time, Mr. Speaker, but to respect the rules of this great chamber, I yield back.